Are you finding that getting up from a chair takes a little more effort these days? Maybe climbing stairs leaves your legs feeling tired. Or you've noticed your balance isn't quite what it used to be. It's a frustrating reality for many of us as we get a little older. We start to lose muscle mass and strength, especially in our legs. This isn't just about feeling weaker. It impacts our independence, our ability to do the things we love, and even our confidence. It can feel like an inevitable part of aging, a downhill slide we just have to accept. But what if I told you that some of the things we eat, perhaps even every single morning, are actually speeding up this process? What if your seemingly innocent breakfast choices are actively working against the strength and vitality in your legs? It's a surprising and painful truth that the very foods we think are quick or easy might be sabotaging our most important muscle groups. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain on 3 common breakfast carbohydrates that are particularly damaging to your leg muscles, especially once you're over 60. Understanding why they're harmful is the first step to taking back control. Stay with me and watch right to the very end, because there's something I'm going to share that I think will genuinely surprise you and hopefully leave you feeling empowered. Let's start by diving into the first common breakfast carb that can really wreak havoc on your leg muscles as you age. Think about what's quick, easy, and maybe even comforting to grab first thing in the morning. Often, it's something like refined breakfast cereals. Now, I'm not talking about the ones packed with fiber and whole grains. I'm talking about those brightly colored, often sugary, processed flakes, puffs, or shapes that many of us grew up with or still rely on for a speedy start to the day. The problem with these cereals, and many other highly refined carbs like them, is how quickly they break down into sugar in your body. When you pour a bowl of this stuff, your body processes it incredibly fast. This causes a rapid spike in your blood sugar. Think of it like pouring gasoline on a fire. Boom! A huge surge. In response, your pancreas has to pump out a lot of insulin to bring that sugar back down. This isn't just a temporary roller coaster. Frequent, large spikes in blood sugar and the resulting high levels of insulin can have a damaging effect on your body over time. And this directly impacts your muscles. Here's how it works concerning your leg strength. High blood sugar levels can contribute to chronic low-grade inflammation throughout your body. Inflammation is your body's response to perceived threats. But when it's constant and low level, it can damage tissues, including muscle tissue. It makes it harder for your muscles to repair themselves and grow stronger. Furthermore, consistently high insulin levels can make your body less sensitive to insulin over time. This is called insulin resistance. When your cells, including muscle cells, become insulin resistant, they struggle to take in nutrients, like amino acids from protein, that are essential for muscle repair and growth. Essentially, even if you're eating enough protein later in the day, if your morning routine is setting off this cascade of blood sugar spikes and insulin resistance, your muscles aren't able to efficiently use those building blocks. It's like having all the bricks you need to build a wall, but the gate to the construction site is jammed shut. Your leg muscles, which are large and require a lot of fuel and repair, are particularly vulnerable to this kind of systemic stress. Think about what your muscles are trying to do every day, even when you're just walking around your house, getting up from a chair, or carrying groceries. Your leg muscles are working. This work causes tiny bits of wear and tear, which is normal. To stay strong and grow, your muscles need to repair this damage. This repair process happens most effectively when your body's metabolic state is stable and you have a steady supply of nutrients. A breakfast of refined cereal creates the opposite situation, a rapid, unstable metabolic shock. It provides a burst of energy that fades quickly, often leaving you feeling hungry again soon after. And it primes your body for inflammation and nutrient malabsorption in your muscles. Instead of fueling muscle repair, it hinders it. Let's consider a real-life scenario. Imagine 2 people over 60. One starts their day with a large bowl of sugary cereal and low-fat milk. Their blood sugar surges. Insulin follows. And this pattern repeats over months and years. The other person has a breakfast centered around protein and healthy fats, maybe some scrambled eggs with vegetables, or Greek yogurt with a few berries and nuts. This second person's breakfast provides a steady release of energy and, crucially, supplies the amino acids needed for muscle repair right from the start of the day, without the inflammatory and insulin-spiking effects of the refined carbs. Over time, the person eating the cereal is creating an environment in their body that actively discourages muscle maintenance and growth, making the natural age-related loss of muscle happen faster and more severely. The person eating protein and healthy fats is supporting their muscle health from the first meal. It's not just the simple sugar aspect. Refined cereals are often stripped of fiber, which is crucial for slowing down sugar absorption and supporting a healthy gut, which in turn impacts overall health and nutrient absorption. They often lack significant amounts of protein, the absolute cornerstone of muscle building and maintenance. Starting your day with a meal that is high in rapidly absorbed carbs, low in fiber, and low in protein is essentially telling your body, don't worry about building or repairing muscle right now, just deal with this sugar flood. This constant signal, meal after meal, day after day, particularly with that crucial first meal after an overnight fast, contributes significantly to the weakening of your muscles, especially those hard-working ones in your legs that carry you through life. So, while that bowl of cereal might seem harmless or nostalgic, it's actively undermining your efforts to maintain strong, functional legs as you age. It's setting you up for metabolic stress that hinders muscle health from the get-go. Now that we've looked at how refined cereals can sabotage your leg strength, let's consider another equally common breakfast culprit that falls into the same damaging category. Moving on from the cereal bowl, let's talk about the second type of breakfast carb that is surprisingly detrimental to your leg muscle health. As you get older, white bread products and pastries. Think bagels, croissants, muffins, donuts, white toast with jam, pancakes, waffles, anything made primarily from refined white flour with added sugars and fats, often lacking substantial fiber and protein. Like the refined cereals, these items are designed to be delicious and convenient, but their impact on your body, especially your muscles, is far from beneficial. When you eat a white flour bagel or a sugary muffin, your digestive system quickly breaks down the refined carbohydrates into glucose. Again, this leads to a rapid surge in blood sugar, prompting that familiar insulin spike. We've already discussed how this pattern contributes to inflammation and insulin resistance, both of which make it harder for your muscle cells to function optimally and take up the nutrients they need for repair and growth. But there's more to it with these kinds of foods. These pastries and white bread items are often what we call empty calories. They provide energy in the form of sugar and refined starch, but they offer very little in the way of beneficial vitamins, minerals, or antioxidants that support overall metabolic health and muscle function. Whole grains, on the other hand, contain nutrients like B vitamins, magnesium, and selenium, which play roles in energy production and muscle health. When you choose refined flour products, you're missing out on these crucial cofactors. Your body doesn't just need protein to build muscle. It needs a whole symphony of nutrients to perform the complex processes involved in muscle protein synthesis, repair, and maintaining nerve signals that control muscle movement. By filling up on empty carbs, you're displacing nutrient-dense foods that would actually support your muscle health. Consider the composition of something like a typical blueberry muffin or a large white bagel. They are often high in not only refined carbs and sugar, but also unhealthy fats. This combination can be particularly insidious. The rapid glucose load triggers the insulin response, and insulin is a storage hormone. When you have high insulin levels and excess calories, especially from sugar and fat, your body is very efficient at storing those excess calories as body fat. While gaining some fat might not seem directly related to losing leg muscle, it has significant indirect effects. Increased body fat, particularly around the abdomen, is associated with higher levels of systemic inflammation and can worsen insulin resistance. This creates an even more hostile environment for muscle maintenance. Furthermore, carrying excess body weight puts extra strain on your leg muscles and joints. While exercise is key to muscle health, if you're carrying significant extra weight fueled by these high-calorie, low-nutrient foods, it makes exercise harder and can even increase the risk of injury, further limiting your ability to build or even maintain muscle mass. Think about your body's metabolic priorities. When you consume a high-sugar, high-refined carb breakfast like a pastry, your body's immediate priority becomes dealing with that sugar load and storing the excess energy. Building and repairing muscle takes a back seat. This is especially problematic in the morning after an overnight fast. Your body has been without nutrients for several hours and is ready to refuel. Providing it with readily available sugar instead of balanced nutrients like protein and healthy fats sets the wrong tone for the entire day's metabolism. It promotes a cycle of blood sugar spikes and crashes, leading to cravings for more quick-fix carbs and making it harder to make healthier food choices throughout the day. This persistent metabolic dysregulation over time contributes significantly to the decline in muscle mass and function seen as we age. Let's move on to the third common breakfast carb that can seriously undermine your leg strength: sugary drinks and fruit juices. Now, you might not think of a glass of orange juice or that fancy flavored coffee drink as a carb, but they are essentially liquid sugar and often consumed right alongside other breakfast items. While 100% fruit juice contains some vitamins, it lacks the fiber of whole fruit. This means the natural sugars in the juice hit your bloodstream almost as quickly as pure sugar. And those sweetened coffee drinks, they can contain astonishing amounts of added sugar, often far more than a can of soda. Consuming calories, especially sugar, in liquid form is particularly problematic because it doesn't trigger the same feelings of fullness as solid food. You can drink a large amount of sugary liquid very quickly without feeling satisfied, leading to a high calorie and sugar intake without realizing it, and without displacing less healthy food choices effectively. This rapid influx of liquid sugar causes an even sharper and faster blood sugar spike than solid refined carbs. The body has to respond with a massive surge of insulin. This exaggerated insulin response is perhaps the most damaging aspect for muscle health. Chronic exposure to high insulin levels not only promotes insulin resistance, as we discussed, but also shifts the body's metabolic state towards fat storage and away from muscle protein synthesis. It creates a pro-inflammatory state that actively works against the processes needed to keep your muscles strong and healthy. For people over 60 who are already facing the natural decline in muscle mass, sarcopenia, adding these sugary drinks to the daily routine is like pouring accelerant on a slow-burning fire. It speeds up the loss of precious muscle tissue. Furthermore, these sugary drinks provide absolutely zero protein. Protein is the most critical nutrient for muscle maintenance and growth. If your breakfast is primarily refined carbs, pastries, and sugary drinks, you're not only introducing muscle-damaging factors, but also failing to provide the necessary building blocks for muscle repair from the outset of your day. It's a double whammy, adding negatives while omitting positives. Consider the typical breakfast often portrayed in ads or readily available: maybe a bowl of cereal, a glass of orange juice, and a piece of toast with jam. This entire meal is overwhelmingly carbohydrate-heavy, mostly from refined and sugary sources, and severely lacking in protein and healthy fats. This type of breakfast, consumed regularly, creates a metabolic environment hostile to muscle health. It's not about having a sugary treat occasionally. It's about making this kind of composition a daily habit for your first meal. Breaking this habit and choosing breakfasts centered around protein, healthy fats, and fiber-rich complex carbohydrates is one of the most powerful steps you can take to protect your leg muscles and maintain your strength and independence as you age. So, we've talked about how refined cereals, white bread products and pastries, and sugary drinks can all work against your leg muscles as you get older. They contribute to damaging blood sugar spikes, promote inflammation, drive insulin resistance, provide empty calories that displace nutrients, and fail to offer the protein needed for muscle repair. It's a combination that actively accelerates the natural process of muscle loss that can make life harder as the years go by. Remembering the painful reality we discussed at the beginning, the increasing difficulty with simple tasks like climbing stairs or getting out of a chair, these breakfast choices are silently contributing to that decline. But here's the incredibly empowering part: you have control over what you put into your body. And making different choices at breakfast can have a surprisingly powerful positive impact on your leg strength and overall vitality. It's not about deprivation. It's about making smarter swaps that fuel your body and support your muscles instead of undermining them. Think about what we've discussed. The issues stem from rapid sugar absorption, lack of fiber, lack of protein, and nutrient deficiency. So, the solution lies in reversing those factors at breakfast instead of refined cereal. Consider oatmeal made from rolled oats, the real kind. Not instant with some nuts or seeds for healthy fat and a scoop of protein powder or served alongside some eggs. Instead of white bread or pastries, think about whole grain toast with avocado and an egg, or a protein-rich Greek yogurt parfait layered with berries and nuts. Instead of sugary juice or drinks, opt for water, unsweetened tea, or coffee. And get your fruit from whole fruits, which provide fiber. Making these shifts does more than just avoid the negative effects of the detrimental carbs. It actively supports muscle health. Protein is the building block, and having protein at breakfast provides your muscles with the amino acids they need to start the repair and growth process after the overnight fast. Fiber slows down digestion, preventing blood sugar spikes and helping you feel full longer, reducing cravings for more unhealthy carbs later. Healthy fats provide sustained energy and support hormone production, including those related to muscle health. And now, for that surprise I promised you at the beginning. You might think that avoiding these 3 types of carbs at breakfast is just about preventing muscle loss. But the surprise is the often overlooked positive feedback loop that happens when you start strengthening your legs. It's not just about maintaining what you have, it's about opening the door to improvement. When you swap those muscle-destroying carbs for muscle-supporting foods, and perhaps add in even a little bit of resistance exercise, which doesn't have to mean lifting heavy weights. It can be bodyweight squats using a chair for support, or walking uphill. You create a powerful synergy. The better nutrition provides the building blocks, and the exercise provides the stimulus for muscle growth. The surprise is how quickly and significantly this combination can begin to reverse some of that age-related decline you thought was inevitable. Stronger legs mean better balance, more confidence moving around, the ability to walk further, climb stairs more easily, and simply enjoy life more fully. It's not just slowing down the loss, it's enabling gains in strength and function you might not have thought possible. Taking control of your breakfast is a simple, yet incredibly effective first step towards maintaining your independence and quality of life as you age. Remember, small changes really can make a big difference to your health and happiness. Choosing a breakfast that nourishes your muscles sets a positive tone for your entire day and contributes significantly to your long-term strength and vitality. Don't let those seemingly innocent carbs rob you of your leg strength any longer. Make the change today. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What are your go-to healthy breakfast options? Share them in the comments below. Your ideas might inspire someone else if you found this video helpful. Please give it a thumbs up, as it really helps the channel. And if you want more practical tips and insights on how to live your best life at every age, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos. Thank you for watching. Here's to strong legs and living your best life, no matter your age.